Good morning, student. I, Purnima, welcome you to my class of English. And children, I was revising with you the ball poem. We have already done the poem in my previous video I've taught you, but once again I revise with you and we will do the question answer from the text and from the sample paper. So, first of all, I revise the poem. The ball poem is written by John Berryman, as I told you. He was an American poet and a scholar. He was born on 25th October 1914 in McAllister, Oklahoma in the United States of America. He was married to Kate Donat in 1961, educated at Clare College, Columbia University. The Dream Songs. Songs 77, Dream Songs, and Berryman's Shakespeare are some of his famous work. He was awarded Pulitzer Prizes for Poetry in 1969. He died on 7th January 1972. Now children, what is the message of the poem or the central idea of the poem? The message of the poem, the ball poem looks like a simple story of a young boy losing his ball. The boy is severely upset over the loss. Normally, children, it may seem like a great overaction. Children often loses thing as and especially the ball, they loses quite often. No fuss should be made about such a small thing, but the ball seemed to be symbolizing the poet's childhood. For so long, the poet accepts the change in his life. Although he is still suffering, yet he is learning to move on from his fleeting childhood. The true theme of the poem is that we should cherish every moment of our life. Life is really very short, and children, we should realize it is very difficult to deal with the loss, but it must be done. We should move on as there is no use in wasting precious time and life. So, children, the style of the poem is full of symbolism and imagination and tone. In the beginning, the tone is depressing. It depicts a scene where a young boy has lost his ball and he is helpless. He cannot find it back. He feels very sad. The loss of the ball symbolizes the loss of innocence and childhood. Like childhood, the lost ball can't be retrieved. The tone in the end change gives an encouraging message that life should be lived as it is and we should move on with the changing time. The poem is in the free verse and it suits its tone and content. Now, children, I would like to tell you the important points of the poem. The young boy lost his ball. The poem is about a young boy who loses his ball, and losing his ball should not be a big issue because we feel that it is very common issue. Often young boys, they keep on losing their balls, and the ball is seen merely bouncing down the street, and ultimately the ball falls down into the water and lost forever. The boy stood there sadly watching the ball go, but he was helpless, nor could he do anything to get the ball back. The ball here symbolizes the innocent childhood of the boy which has slipped away and he wants it back. Other balls too. It is of no use to remind him that it was not a big loss. He can get more balls and continue his game. But for the boy, the loss of the ball is a great loss. There may be other balls and perhaps he can hope to get any one of them. However, the ball that he has lost can't be retrieved. It has fallen into the deep water of the harbor. The boy is inconsolable. He loses hope in himself and becomes depressed and hopeless. He stands still trembling and looking at the point where the ball has gone down into the harbor. Here the lost ball stand for the lost childhood, and the harbor stand for the vastness of the life. It will not serve any purpose to remind him that the ball cost just a dime and it's worth nothing. Okay, so first was the second point, recovering from the loss. There comes a change in his mood and thinking. He realizes that in this world the loss is a part of the game or the part of their life. He must take such losses in life in his stride. Achievements will follow losses in life, and a thing that is lost once can't be retrieved or brought back. Money can't buy the lost childhood, the lost dreams, and the lost feeling back. Money is external in such money is external to such losses. Standing up, the poet gives a message of hope and encouragement. So, what does the poet give? He gives us a message of hope and encouragement. Ultimately, he comes out of his depression and hopelessness. He has to learn how he should stand up to bear the loss. The theme of the poem is that life is precious. Life is precious and should not be wasted. Life has to be lived, and life can be lived purposefully and fruitfully only when we stand up and come out of depression. So, life has to be lived and not wasted in grieving and mourning over the losses suffered in the past. Now, children, we will be doing the first of all textual question answer and then this. And of course, children, I will be we will be doing NCRT textual question solve. So, first question, in pairs, attempt the following question. Why does the poet say, I would not intrude on him? Why doesn't he offer him money to buy another ball? So, the poet doesn't want to indulge in any kind of sermonizing. He does not want to indulge in any kind of sermonizing, nor does he want to impose his view on him. He even doesn't want to console him by saying that his loss is rather very small. Nor does he want to suggest that many more balls can be easily bought with money replacing the lost ball. Now, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went, do you think the boy he had the ball for a long time? It is linked to the memories of the days when he played with it. So, so the question once again I read, it's a very typical question. Staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. So these are the last line, children. I think this is the line from the poem. Okay. Do you think the boy has had the ball for a long time? It is linked to the memories of days when he played with it. Actually, the loss of the ball has is here stand for the loss of his childhood. So the loss of the ball here stand for his loss of the childhood. His childhood has been lost in the harbor of life. It seems that the boy is inconsolable as B has kept the ball for a long time. The loss is linked to the memory of days when he played with it. Why does in the word of possession mean? What does the in the word of possession mean? This physical word is the word of possession, buying, owning something, possessing something, and even grabbing material things has become the only aim of the people. People have a tendency to amass wealth and material of comfort and luxury. But no wealth can compensate the emotional loss or internal agony that a person suffers from within. Now, my question number third is, do you think the boy has lost anything earlier? Pick out the words that suggest the answer. Yes, before the loss of the ball, the boy has lost something earlier too, and this loss can't be compensated. It is the loss of his childhood that will never come back again. The line staring down on his young days into the harbor reveals his sense of loss. Now, how does the boy lose the ball? The boy was playing the ball was bouncing, he was playing, and children, finally the bouncing ball went towards the street, and from there it fell into the water. Why is the boy making such a fuss over the loss of the ball? The boy is making such a fuss over the loss of the ball because children, the poet sees a boy playing with a ball, then the boy loses his ball. The poet asks, what should the boy be feeling now? He asks, will the boy do now? He saw the ball bouncing madly and going down the street, and now in the same way it has fallen into the water and lost forever. And there's no use of consoling the boy. He can't be consoled if he's offered other ball in place of the lost ball. Finally, a deep grief overpowers the boy. He stands shaking there without leaving his place. Standing there, he stares down the place where the ball has disappeared in the water of the harbor. The loss of the ball in the harbor reminds him of his childhood days, which have been lost in the harbor of life. Why doesn't the poet want what? Why doesn't the poet want to intrude? Is he right in his regard? Yes, the poet doesn't want to introduce or intervene or console to the boy. He will not tell the boy that the ball he has lost cost almost nothing. He will not console him by saying that he can buy another ball quite easily. Now, good sense prevails over the boy. He knew that in this world people are always running after acquiring and owing things. He realizes what is his first responsibility in such a world. When will and how the child sense his first responsibility? Children, when the child realizes his first responsibility, when he lost the ball and he was standing and staring to the ball going in the water. He know that in this world people are always running after acquiring and owing things. He realizes what is his first responsibility in his such a world. Buying and losing continues throughout our life. People will always buy such ball, and the balls they will buy will continue to be lost. Once a ball has been lost, it is lost ball again. Money is totally uh, Money is totally extend to our our inner feeling. Money can't compensate our emotional losses. Similarly, the childhood that we have lost forever can't be brought back with the money. Now, question number, what does in the word of possession means? The physical word is the word of possession. Buying, owning, possessing, and even grabbing material things has become the only aim of the people. People have a tendency to amass wealth and material of comfort and luxury, but no wealth can compensate the emotional loss or internal agony that a person suffers from within. Do you think the boy has lost everything, anything earlier? Pick out the word that suggests the answer. Yes, before the loss of the ball, the boy has lost something earlier too. And this loss can't be compensated. It is the loss of his childhood that will never come back again. The lion staring down all his young days into the harbor reveal the sense of loss. Why does the poet says the boy is learning from the loss of the ball? Try to explain this in your own words. Like every sensible grown up person, the boy is also learning to know the nature of loss. He is learning that such ball will continue to be bought and lost again and again. He must not weep or cry over the lost ball. Rather, he should move ahead, forgetting the loss of his ball or the loss of his childhood. Now, children, have you ever lost something you liked very much and write a paragraph? So here, children, you can write anything about yourself, whatever you have write, but don't take the word ball. Don't use the ball. Okay. Now, few more question. How is money external? Children, like every sensible grown up person, the boy is also thinking that he cannot bring the lost ball back. Even the money could not bring the same lost ball again. Okay, so it is no use standing and mourning over the loss because the money is also external. So he feels that losing of the ball is a thing which he should take it, he should accept it, and money is external here. Money can't compensate his emotional losses. Similarly, the childhood that we have lost forever can't be brought back by money. Now, children, how did the poet witness the whole scene of the boy losing his ball? These are the addition question from the sample paper. And now, children, these question you have to listen properly. How did the poet witness the whole scene of the boy losing his ball? The poet saw the boy playing with his ball. While he was playing with it, the ball bounced down the street merrily, and then the most unexpected thing happened. Rolling down the street, and after taking a few bounds, finally the ball fell down the water into the of the harbor below. How did the boy react after his ball fell into the water of the harbor? The falling of the ball in the water was quite sudden. Actually, it was an unexpected loss. The boy was completely shaken but could not even move a step. He stood there first to the ground like a statue. He constantly continued staring at the point where the ball fell into the harbor. It seemed as if he was thinking of his childhood days, which had disappeared forever like the lost ball. Now, does the lost ball stand for the metaphor and the boy lost childhood? How? So, children, here it is a metaphor because the lost ball indicate it is compared with the lost childhood where the ball is common. Okay, so this is metaphor in the poem. How did the boy react after his ball fell into the water of the harbor? The falling, no, this was there. Na? How does the lost ball stand for the metaphor of the boy lost childhood? How? So the boy has lost his ball, it has fallen down into the harbor, it will not be found back again. However, through the metaphor of the lost ball, the poet wants to highlight a bigger loss. It is the loss of his childhood. Like the lost ball, the childhood days which he cherishes still now have been lost forever. This makes the loss inconsolable. Why does the poet say, no use to say, oh, there are other balls? The loss of the ball looks like an ordinary incident. It seemed that the boy should not make such a fuss over it. Boy usually lose such balls and again buy new ones as they are not very costly. But the boy seems to be inconsolable over the loss. No money can buy the same ball that he has lost forever. Similarly, no wealth can buy back his childhood that he has lost forever. Now, next question is, why doesn't the poet want to introduce on him what does he consider the safest course? The poet doesn't want to introduce on the inconsolable boy. There is no gain in telling him that the ball he has lost cost almost nothing. He can buy a new ball easily in a dime. Instead of sermonizing, the poet leaves it on the boy to develop a new sense of responsibility. It will help in bearing the loss. What is the general rule of this word of possession? Why is money external? So, getting and losing is a natural cycle. Many more boys before him bought and lost their ball. This process will go on forever. However, no amount of money can buy back the same ball that it has been lost forever. Money is external and has its own limitation. Wealth can't compensate such emotional losses such as the loss of one childhood days. How is the boy learning the epistemology of loss from the loss of his ball? What he has to learn? The boy has to understand the nature of loss. He has to understand what it means to lose something. Gain and loss are the two sides of the same coin. The boy has to learn how to move forward, forgetting everything about the losses he has suffered in the past. How can the boy stand up again? What everything everyone must know one day. The boy has to understand the epistemology of laws, the knowledge and nature of laws. This is not the problem of the boy alone. Everyone has to know it sooner or later that it is useless to weep over the loss of our dearest childhood days. One should move ahead, forgetting all such losses. Life has to be lived only by moving ahead in it. Now, important question is, what is the message that John Berryman gives to the reader in the ball poem? So the message of this poem is that in the ball poem, John Berryman gives a very positive message to us. Gain and loss, getting and losing are the essential in the cycle of our life. One should learn the epistemology or the knowledge and the nature of loss. Our childhood, with all its attachment and sweet memories, has gone forever, never to come back again. We should not weep over the losses that we have suffered. Let us learn living and moving ahead in life, forgetting all inconsolable losses. Why does the poet not offer to buy the boy and their ball? The poet does not offer to buy the boy and their ball because the new ball would not console him. The reason is that he had great attachment for the lost ball. Question number 11. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes. What is the boy learning from the loss of the boy? The boy is learning from the nature of loss in this materialistic world. He has learned that loss is a part and parcel of human life. So now children, we have done short question from the sample paper, and now we are going to do some of the long question. Okay. So one of the difficult question is related with epistemology of loss. Okay, this is very difficult question, and children, you have to first of all know that what is the meaning of epistemology. Epistemology means knowledge, and epistemology of loss means understanding the nature of loss. Okay. What is the epistemology of loss in this world of possession? How has the child learned to stand up in life? Gain and loss are the two sides of the same coins. Getting, spending and losing things from a natural cycle of life. The boy is inconsolable at the loss of his ball. Actually, it is not the ordinary ball, but his long association and attachment with it that makes the loss so unbearable. It is like the good, sweet days of childhood that the boy cherishes so much but are lost and gone forever. They will never come back again. So, what is the remedy? He can bear this loss by understanding the epistemology or nature of loss. In this world of material wealth and possession, it seems that money can buy anything. However, but it is a false conception. The fact is that money cannot buy everything. It has its own limitation. Its nature is external. It cannot compensate the losses that persons suffer emotionally or internally. No wealth can buy back the ball that has been lost forever. Similarly, no wealth can buy back the lost childhood. The child will have to move ahead and stand up in life. He has to stop weeping over his past losses and start living life as it should be lived. So with this, children, we have completed the revision, third time revision of the lesson, and all short of question answer, long question answer from the sample paper, textual question answer. With this, children, I take a leave. Thank you and have a nice day ahead. Please go through all the videos. Goodbye.